You're a business owner.
Check.
You have business owner's insurance.
Check.
And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been enough. Today, small businesses are being targeted and taken down by hackers. Medical offices, consultants, CPAs, any business that's built success has everything to lose. You probably have cybersecurity installed on your computer.
Check.
But you probably don't have cyber insurance. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Cyber Policy covers that gap. Cyberpolicy.com shops the leading cyber insurers to find you the right policy at the right price to avoid a catastrophe. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Get a custom quote today in just 4 minutes. And for a limited time, use the promo code BLOGTALK to get Norton's small business protection for up to 5 devices. Free when you sign up for cyber insurance. Plan, prevent, insure. Visit cyberpolicy.com. That's cyberpolicy.com.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to No BS Hiring Advice. Summertime, and the living is easy. I'm doing this also as a Google Hangout, so it'll be up on YouTube later on today. No BS Hiring Advice is a show where I spend about 15 minutes speaking with you, one search professional to another, a hiring manager to a search person to a small business owner, because I believe many of you make mistakes that are easily correctable, that will allow you to really fill jobs much more quickly. A lot of that stems from your lack of knowledge. A lot of it comes from frankly, systems that you have in place that interfere with what you want to do, which is fill jobs. Duh. So I take 15 minutes generally on Wednesday mornings. It may change in a little while, but for now it's been Wednesday mornings at noon Eastern, and you can do the math backward for your time zone, where I try to make things a lot easier for you. Now, today's show is brought to you by Audible. If you go to audibletrial.com/The Big Game Hunter and sign up for a free trial, you'll get an audiobook from Audible for free as part of that trial. And I know you like audio. You listen to this show, my other one, Job Search Radio, which is my flagship show on webtalkradio.net, No BS Job Search Advice Radio, and on Blog Talk Radio. All of these are in iTunes. And I know you like audio because you're listening to them. A lot of you are listening to Job Search Radio. A whole lot of them. So try audibletrial.com/The Big Game Hunter to get a free trial. Now, this is a show that's going to be about sourcing and mistakes that people are making when they are sourcing that I run into all the time. Some of them I have to be very conscious of not committing myself. Some of them I've awakened to along the way. And I'll start with the first one. Frankly, it's one that for me was more about imposed bias. And I'm not going to get into a definition of what the term means. I'll just simply say I would get lots of resumes of people with names different than mine. And based upon my initial impressions of other people with different names than mine, I would reject them, making the assumption that their oral communications were as poor as the first batch that I had interviewed. And I learned with time that I can't make those assumptions. Even for someone who's been in the U.S. for maybe a year on an H-1B visa, there are a lot of extraordinary people out there. And my bias, maybe yours, would get in the way of seeing past their name to get to the resume. This is my ancient history. Hopefully it's your ancient history, but for some of you it may be your current history. So I thought this is where we'd start off to identify one of the mistakes employers make when they're sourcing. Now, here's another one. You're using Google, you're using some search engine, you're using LinkedIn, and you have a search that you're running, and you're running a real basic search to try and get as many people as possible for for reasons that escape me to no end, but this is what you're doing. Now, the mistake in that is you're scanning way too much and missing, the people you really want. So I always encourage people when I coach them, start off with the tightest possible spec that you possibly can. If you've got 12 different criteria, lay out all 12 in an and search. From there, if you get nothing, fine, go to 11. Select out the least important of these criteria and start to examine the people that you get. Maybe you get 15 with 11 of the 12 criteria. Take it down to 10. Obviously, those 11 will be there, but others will be there too. By the way, if you don't have a full LinkedIn recruiter account, I created a little custom search engine for searching U.S. jobs on LinkedIn, or U.S. people on LinkedIn. So it's li-usa.info. I just want to make sure I gave it. It's either USA or us.info. And what you'll find when you search with it, it's li-usa.info. What you'll find is the LinkedIn database for the U.S. Now, you have to use your own means to get in touch with people, but you have access to the whole thing of public profiles easily using LinkedIn. So don't run a generic search. Run a full, tight search and work your way back from there. So that's the second mistake I see people make. Another one is when you're critiquing resumes, you get way too fussy and you start overanalyzing things. And, you're looking at a resume for 6 seconds and you're going, this guy doesn't have this. This woman doesn't have that. And you're just being a fuss budget. And you haven't taken the time to train your customer, the user who's using your services, about flexibility. After all, using that example I used with the LinkedIn search, why do they need all 12 of those criteria? Seriously, why do they need all 12? I know that would be perfect, but why can't they use 10? Seriously, why can't they use 10? So see if you can spend some time with your hiring manager and start by asking the question, how long can you afford this job to stay open? Oh, we can afford to have this job stay open for months. Well, that's great. We probably don't need it filled though. Wait. Especially, I'm doing this show at the beginning of August, especially if this is a hiring manager who's going to be going for approval on a new budget for January of next year. This is a job that can disappear from their budget if they don't really need it filled that quickly. Only work on things that have a degree of urgency for you, and if they malign you to others, just simply say, they don't need it filled. They told me that point blank. They said they could take 3-4 months to fill it. That doesn't sound urgent to me. 3-4 weeks is unreasonable. 2 months. Well, by the time you get going, by the time you start interviewing people and rejecting them and narrowing down a short list of candidates for second and third round interviews, you can have that job filled in 2 months easily. Anyone who's talking about longer than that in this job market doesn't really understand that folks have lots of opportunities these days. It's not like it was in 2008, 2009, 2010 when the Great Depression too was on. They've got choices. You can't fool around. So here's another mistake people make when they're doing their sourcing. They kind of get fixated on one job. And as a result, they never see the forest for the trees. Now, sometimes you see a resume that fits another job. And you would think you would wake up to the fact that you can fill that second job with that candidate, but no, they get fixated on things. And it's a mistake because you could be filling other things. So another thing that people do is when you're using job boards, you only look at the last 2 weeks. So a search has started, you're only looking at resumes for the last 2 weeks. Why not the last 60 days? Why not the last 90? And here's the fun one, history of the database, so that you're contacting people from maybe 3 years ago, so that this way you're actually recruiting and you don't have competition. So you can call these folks, be reasonably sure that they're not out there looking, and if they are, you'll know it because they probably uploaded their resume again to the same job board. So go to the life of the database, look at the older resumes, and work with the assumption that you're going to be doing some real recruiting, and you can source these people as well. Another thing people do is that unless all the criteria are in the resume, they overscreen people out. Now, using that example of 12 criteria, can you believe that someone might not include everything they've done for your job on a resume that you found on a job board? It's easy. They just posted something. They don't know that you're looking for 12 criteria, but if they've got 10 or 11, isn't it worth you calling them and asking them about the 12th? Seriously. So don't be overly fine with your reviews, because after all, especially with those older resumes, they may have grown up. They may have picked up some new things. You're looking at something that's a couple of years old. So reach out to them and talk with them. Another thing folks do is you only send a couple of resumes to the hiring manager. And in doing so, you think you're done. Well, you're not done. There's a lot of people out there that enter the market, and your first 2 or 3 may not be the right fit for your hiring manager. Suddenly they tell you about 2 other things that they need to do. They need to have. So you wind up not filling the job, or it's staying open for too long. That's another mistake people make. So another thing, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to cover. So people search one source and they think they're done. So whether it's a job board, a Google search, LinkedIn, your company's ATS, you're only searching one medium in order to find talent. Now, if you have a LinkedIn recruiter account and you're searching a job for people in, let's say, the U.S. with particular skills, well, you have access to most of that population in the U.S. through the recruiter account. But your ATS may have some interesting people as well. So just focusing on one thing is a mistake. And you don't want to do that. What you want to be doing is reaching out to as many people as possible. You want to be getting referrals from the folks that you're talking with, because some are going to say to you, this isn't the right time for me. Would you mind if I just describe the role and see if you might be able to point me to someone? Oh, I know no one. No one on the planet is my friend. Certainly no one like me. Okay? They're an idiot. You can mark that in your ATS as part of your stories that let you know about how foolish this person is. Again, don't focus on one particular recruiting source. Oh, yeah, I can't help but include this. Don't think the job boards have awful people. They don't. They have people in them. And at one point they were actively looking for work. Maybe that's now, but these are the same people that if you got referred to you by that last call you made, you think they were great because you didn't get them from a job board. You see how incongruent that is? So if you found them through a referral, they're good, but if you found them on a job board, they're not good. Crazy. So those are some of my tips for avoiding making mistakes in how you source. Hope you found this helpful. I also want to say if you need help with your recruiting, call me. My number is 646-374-8656, or email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. That's JEFFALTMAN thebiggamehunter.us. I'm happy to help you with your recruiting. I also have programs where if you want me to do sourcing, I charge a lesser amount for it. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request at linkedin.com/IN/the-big-game-hunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, you notice that little icon in the corner? That lower corner? If you want to subscribe to my channel, click that icon. You'll be subscribed to it. Last thing I want to say is my website has a ton of information to help you whether you're hiring or looking for work. Visit thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you with your staffing, to help you with your job search. I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a great day.
You're a business owner.
Check.
You have business owner's insurance.
Check.
And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been enough. Today, small businesses are being targeted and taken down by hackers. Medical offices, consultants, CPAs, any business that's built success has everything to lose. You probably have cybersecurity installed on your computer.
Check.
But you probably don't have cyber insurance. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Cyber policy covers that gap. Cyberpolicy.com shops the leading cyber insurers to find you the right policy at the right price to avoid a catastrophe. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Get a custom quote today in just 4 minutes. And for a limited time, use the promo code BLOGTALK to get Norton's small business protection for up to 5 devices. Free when you sign up for cyber insurance. Plan, prevent, insure. Visit cyberpolicy.com. That's cyberpolicy.com.
Ready to make fashion fireworks? Right now at Old Navy, get up to 60% off the entire store during Old Navy's Red, White, and New sale. Save big with items for $2, $4, $6, and $8, including women's tanks for just $2. And up to 60% off summer essentials like flip-flops, tank tops, swimwear, and shorts. Get more bang for your buck with up to 60% off your favorite all-American styles right now at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Select styles only. Entire store offer valid 6/28 to 7/5. Excludes clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today only deals, 2-day only deals.